a length of cord, 39 years in an evidence box, and on it, the DNA of a killer who thought he'd gotten away with it. In April of 1987, Thomas Klotz checked into a Baton Rouge motel. He was there to write commercial jingles for a radio station. He never checked out. Someone bound his hands, stabbed him to death, and vanished into nearly 4 decades of silence. Thomas L. Klotz was 45 years old. Not a local. He was in town on business. A jingle writer. The kind of person who made radio stations sound like radio stations. He'd been staying at the motel for just over a week. Rental car in the lot. No known enemies. No obvious reason anyone would want him dead. And then housekeeping found him. The scene told investigators a story, but not the whole story. Klotz had been stabbed multiple times, and before that, someone had bound his hands. A cord. The kind of cord you'd find in any hardware store. Ordinary. Forgettable. But what the killer didn't know, couldn't have known in 1987, was that ordinary objects keep secrets. Skin cells, sweat, the microscopic debris of human contact. The cord was bagged, tagged, filed, and then nothing. For 39 years, nothing. But here's what most people don't understand about cold cases. They don't die because the evidence dies. They don't die because detectives stop caring. They go cold because the tools haven't caught up with the crime. And in 2026, the tools caught up. The Louisiana State Police Crime Lab re-examined the cord from the Klotz case. DNA technology in 2026 is not what it was in 1987. It's not even what it was in 2017. Sensitivity has improved. Extraction methods have improved. Databases have expanded. They found a profile. A full male DNA profile, lifted from fibers that hadn't been touched in nearly 4 decades. And this time, it had a name attached to it. Sean David Atkinson, 62 years old, living in Mobile, Alabama, about 2 hours east of Baton Rouge. He'd been 23 at the time of the murder, still in the area, still alive, still free. On June 25, 2026, Baton Rouge police arrived in Mobile. Atkinson was taken into custody without incident, charged with second-degree murder. Now awaiting extradition back to Louisiana, back to the city where Thomas Klotz was left to die in a motel room 39 years earlier. The arrest warrant affidavit cited one piece of evidence above all others: DNA from the cord. A piece of rope, shorter than a man's arm. It had waited in a box while the world changed around it, while the internet was invented, while smartphones replaced landlines, while forensic science transformed from blood typing to full genomic sequencing. And it never forgot what it knew. This case is not an outlier, it's part of a wave. Across the United States, cold case units are reopening files that sat dormant for decades, and the common denominator is almost always the same: DNA that was collected before the technology existed to read it properly. In some cases, it's genetic genealogy, uploading a crime scene profile to public databases and building a family tree backward until a suspect emerges. That's how they caught the Golden State Killer. That's how they identified Christy Marak's murderer, a wedding DJ who donated DNA to a genealogy site and never imagined it would connect him to a 1992 crime scene. In the Klotz case, it was simpler, but no less remarkable. A direct crime lab match, no genealogy required. The DNA was on the cord was in the box was waiting. What's lost in the science is the human cost of 39 years. Thomas Klotz's family waited nearly 4 decades for answers. They attended funerals. They celebrated birthdays. They watched the world move on. And somewhere in an evidence locker in Baton Rouge, the answer to who killed him was sitting on a shelf, waiting for the moment someone would look again. That moment came in 2026. The investigation remains ongoing. Police have not released a motive. The relationship between Klotz and Atkinson, if any, is still unclear. What is clear is that a 62-year-old man who thought he'd committed the perfect crime in 1987 is now facing justice in a world he probably never imagined. The lesson of the Thomas Klotz case is not complicated. Time is not on the killer's side, not anymore. Every year the technology gets sharper. The databases get bigger. The margin for getting away with murder shrinks. And the box in the evidence locker gets heavier with what it knows. How many more cords are sitting in how many more boxes, waiting for their moment? If you believe in justice delayed but never denied, subscribe so you don't miss our next cold case. The darkest cases don't stay dark forever. Sometimes they just need 39 years and a piece of rope.